Yeah. Hi, my name is Gergely Sipos. I work here at Ali's since a little more than 10 years, and I brought you the smallest and tiniest solution out of the three presentation. Um, so yeah, presenting a bunch of images, what does that mean? So I want to show you a couple of images at the same time, and I want to be able to quickly switch between them. And the simple solution would be that I would share a second screen and I would just drag the image windows to that screen, but that's kind of cumbersome and not kind of in the flow. So I made a little app that helps with that. So my goal with the demo is to show you 5 images. I give you a little bit of story, and you will understand what it's about. It's easier to show than talk about it. So, okay, we have a black screen right now, so let's start. Alright, so imagine that we are sitting at a table at home. We are a small group of friends. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and the game master is telling you a little bit of story. So our story starts with him. He's John the Paladin, and his companion Jane the Sorceress. So as they walk down a mountain road, their adventure takes them to a mountain valley while they find a small building, and they decide to take shelter in this little bit of building because the night is coming, and since Game of Thrones we know that the night is dark and full of terrors. So there they meet this nice guy who is, so they meet this nice guy and they have a little chat. The old man gives them shelter, but apparently they arrived a little bit too late, and they are attacked by a group of wolves, and they are very, very fearsome. But our adventurers are pretty well prepared, but they weren't prepared because these wolves were just a disguise, and the real threat were these kind of wolf people, and they are much more scarier. And will our heroes survive? Will they be able to save the old man? Well, I'll leave the ending to you. So, as you can see, I can move a bunch of images, set how much I want to show them. I can set which images and how big I want to show them to you. So, what is the focus of my story? What the focus images can be larger, smaller images, stuff like that. So how do I control this? And let me show, and if I tell, yeah, it should be visible right here. As you can see, there is a little bit of magic because I am still in the application, but I also screen sharing a different page, which is kind of useful in situations where we are playing. There are also some images I want to show, and there is a third-party application like Old Bear Rodeo, Photoshop, Roll20 or something like that to present. So let's just make these images a little bit smaller, and As you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, I can turn off and on images and they show and disappear. I can set the sizes if I want images to be larger or smaller, stuff like that. And the application layout works that the larger images are shown first, and if it has any kind of space, then smaller images follow. So, how does this work? If I go back to the slides, yeah, okay. So, it's a pretty simple application, basically 500 lines of code. The tech stack is absolutely cumbersome, React, TypeScript, full standard stuff. Vite is mentionable because it's quite easy to build front-end related stuff with that. Vercel is worth mention because for OP projects, especially if they are open source, you can host it for free, and it's quite like 3 clicks to set up. And the fifth one is the Joy UI from Mui, but it's a pretty simple application, so it doesn't need that much UI components. It's just comfort stuff. All right, so you may notice that this is purely front-end related stuff, and there are no backend technologies here because it doesn't have a backend, because it works just in your local browser. Your data is in your local tab. It doesn't get uploaded into the cloud. So the cloud is a little bit sad because it doesn't get your data, at least not from this application. So how does that work? There are 4 stuff basically. So you can drag and drop images to the tab. Basically you can handle a on-drop event. You get a file reference object with the file reader API. I make an URL from the image, which is pretty handy because then I can store it as a string and just give it to an HTML image tag as a source, and it's just easy to handle. The next thing is the IDB key wall package. What it does, it makes it gives us interface before the browser's IndexedDB, so I can store images in the browser pretty easily. So I have a tab open where I can, configure what images I want to see and and the other black canvas where actually the images are shown, and they communicate via the broadcast channel API. So anytime I make some changes, there is a message sent to the other tab and it can update so that something changed, please load the data and show the up-to-date configuration. And actually for the screen share part, there is a built-in API in the browser, so you can show shared screen or tab or whole screen basically with video and audio via a couple lines of code. And the layout is basically a very, very simple CSS grid. It just has fixed set of columns, fixed set of rows. They are in the same size. There is a little bit of gap between them, and there are a couple of utility classes that play with the column span, row span, and then it's basically that. So it's very simple, but works really nice. So this is about it. It's a very small application, very small presentation. The GitHub repo is there, so you can check it out. Also, the link is there, so you can play with it, try it out, have fun with it, and if you have questions, please ask.